Hey guys, what's going on? Sherman here. I have another piece of gear to review for you guys today and to talk a little bit more about medical preparedness. So today we're going to be taking a look at the ITS Tactical EDC Trauma Kit. Now, I already reviewed the ETA Trauma Kit, and this is the EDC, stand, obviously for everyday carry. And if you carry a firearm on a daily basis, you carry knives, you run any kind of weapon system in your daily carry, or even if you don't, I think that you all owe it to yourselves and those around you to carry some form of an EDC trauma kit. Now, let me just go on the record because some people are a little confused about this, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there is a big difference between having a trauma kit and having a first aid kit. A first aid kit is just for basic aid. You have Band-Aids, you have a few gauze pads, and alcohol wipes, and that's great because chances are those are going to be the things you're facing on a daily basis. You're going to get cut and you're going to need to cover it up. But those will not help you with a severe trauma. And a trauma kit is for absolute life-threatening medical situations, such as an arterial bleeding, something like a limb amputation. That's something that can kill you in a matter of minutes. So those are things that have to be treated right away, or you're going to die. Some people call these blowout kits or bleed out kits, stuff like that, because you can die of an arterial bleed out in 3 minutes. Now, when I say this is not bashing EMS workers whatsoever. But in the event of something like a mass shooting or just a shooting in general, a terrorist attack, a bombing, anything like that, EMTs, EMS will not show up. And that is just because they're in danger. They cannot treat you when they're under fire or when they're in duress. They're not trained for that. They're not combat medics. They're not trained to give aid to somebody while there, explosions going off. There's a shooter at large and whatnot. So they have to be cleared by officers. That they have to be cleared and told, the danger is gone for them to show up. Now that can take several minutes. That can take half an hour. That could take hours. So in the event of a shooting like that or a bombing and you're hurt or one of your loved ones is hurt or just a random civilian is hurt, they may not have the chance to get the medical aid that they need. Like I said, if it's a gunshot wound, if it's a limb amputation of some sort, that's severe. That can kill you in a matter of minutes. And even in normal, good conditions, EMS may not arrive quick enough because, like I said, they're not going to get there in 3 minutes unless it's just a miracle and they just happen to be driving down the road at the time. But the importance of having something like this on your person on a daily basis cannot be stressed more. And this is something that was brought to my attention by watching videos here on YouTube, talking to people who carry trauma kits, and it just clicked. I'm like, why have I never thought of this before? Because I've always carried medical items in my everyday carry pack, but I leave that in the car when I go somewhere. So if something happens to me, such as, I carry a firearm, like I was telling you guys earlier, if you carry a firearm, you need a kit like this because accidents can happen. Accidents do happen on a daily basis to people. So if you have something like an accidental discharge and, you blow a hole through your thigh, sever your femoral artery, you can bleed out in a matter of minutes from that. It's a main artery. So you're not going to have time to run to the car, depending on where you're at, if you're at work, if you're at the grocery store, or at the park, wherever. You're not going to have time to run out to your car, get your kit, pat yourself up. You're not going to have time for somebody to call an EMT, the EMTs. You're not. You're going to be responsible for yourself at that time, and you're going to need something like this to help you. Same thing for anybody else. If there's a shooting, you're not going to have time. If it's something like an on-the-job accident, say you're a construction worker, and something happens. If you work around machinery, something could happen. You could have a limb amputation. It happens every day. So you don't even have to carry a firearm or be in harm's way. It could just be you're at work and something happens, you're going to want something like this. Maybe not this exact kit, but just some sort of hemorrhage control. And that's what this kit specializes in. This specializes in the main cause of preventable death, and that is bleeding out, basically. So in this kit are hemorrhage control items. So this kit, as you can see, it's very compact. It's about the size of an average smartphone. I have my HTC Thunderbolt. You can see it's about the same size. It's about as thick as two of them, but almost the exact same size. Here's a wallet, which this isn't a very good example because this is a rather small wallet. It's very thin. But I'll show you in a little bit how this carries in the pocket. But it is a vacuum sealed package, just like with the ETA kit. And I just kind of folded these flaps in. It has a resealable little resealable section right there, like on a Ziploc bag. And not that you'd want to reuse any of this stuff, but anyway, it has an expiration date down here, just like with the ETA kit, and then a contents list down here. So what you're getting is one Quick Clot Combat Gauze LE. Now there's a few different types of Quick Clot gauze. There's the EMS, like first responder gauze. There's first responder. There's EMS gauze. There's combat gauze. There's combat gauze LE. And from what I can tell, the only difference between some of these is the length. So with this kit, you get the 3-inch Z-folded 4 yards of combat gauze. Now, those of you who don't know what the Quick Clot combat gauze is, it's a gauze that is impregnated with a natural material, and it's a blood coagulant. It's a hemostatic agent. It coagulates blood on contact. It does not burn like some of the original, coagulating hemostatic gauze or hemostatic granules like the Celox. This stuff doesn't burn, and but like I said, it is some really good stuff. It's Z-folded, meaning I've talked about this in the past, but if you haven't seen those videos, it's not rolled up in a circle like most rolled gauze. It's folded in a zigzag Z pattern. And what that does is it gives you a square of gauze that is very compact, allows you to put it in a small kit like this, but if you drop it, it doesn't unravel and become contaminated. It stays in place. It makes it very easy to pack wounds. I know it says for external use, but you can use this to pack wounds. It's really what you would use it for, or to apply direct pressure. But this is really important to have some form of a hemostatic agent, rather it's the Quick Clot gauze, if it's the sport, the combat, the EMS, it all does the same thing. Some may do it a little bit better, but you can get away with buying the $10 Quick Clot Sport gauze sponge. The Combat Gauze LE is about $40 a pack, and as you see, it's a very small pack. It's a 3-inch Z-folded, gauze pad that's 4 yards long. Now that's a lot of gauze, but $40 to $50 is pretty steep. So that's just one item in this that kind of tells you the price on one of these kits. But you get one of those. Now I just want to say, just right off the bat, these are made in the U.S. These are all hand packed by ITS here in the United States, with all United States made products except for the gloves. And they do not ship overseas. For whatever reason, I'm not sure, because of the combat gauze. Quick Clot is made by a company called Z-Medica, and they have a policy of not shipping outside the United States for whatever reason. I'm honestly not sure. The only thing I can think of is that it's a great product, and that maybe they don't want terrorists overseas getting a hold of it. I'm really not sure. But they will not ship this kit outside of the United States because it contains the Quick Clot gauze. So if you want to make something like this yourself, you're going to have to get something like Celox. If you live overseas, you want to make your own, you're not going to be able to get a hold of any kind of Z-Medica product. So you're probably going to have to use something like Celox or some other kind of hemostatic gauze. But just want to tell you right off the bat. You also get a SWAT T tourniquet. It's a multi-purpose tourniquet. These things are great. Look them up online to how to use them. And obviously, some of you may think there's a tourniquet in there. The SWAT tourniquet is, think of a bicycle tire inner tube. That's basically the material it's kind of made out of. It's a very stretchy, rubber-like material. It's a fairly new type of tourniquet. But its claim to fame is that it's made by a medical professional. The guy that made this was, I believe, had 15 years combat medical experience. He was a parajumper. He was I believe he was also in SWAT. I could be wrong. But the term SWAT comes from the stretch, wrap, and tuck. Stretch, wrap, and tuck. SWAT. Kind of clever, isn't it? But that's the order of operations you apply this tourniquet. But it's made by a professional, and it's meant to be used by people who have little to no medical experience. So basically, anybody can figure out how to use this tourniquet. And that's great. Like I said, it's very self-explanatory. It has instructions on the tourniquet itself. So, but, you would benefit from going online and researching it a little bit, knowing beforehand before you just had to use it on the fly. But it's a multi-purpose tourniquet, meaning it can be used as a tourniquet, which that's a gray area, tourniquet usage. You would only want to use a tourniquet if your patient or yourself's life was at risk. If it's just if it's an arterial bleed and they're going to die if you don't apply it, of course you're going to want to do it. But if it's just a standard standard thing that can be fixed with just applied pressure, then you're going to want to do that. But you have to know the difference between life-threatening and non, because you can use a tourniquet up to 6 hours before it's damaging to the nerves and the limb. Then that's a huge maximum right there. But obviously, if your patient or yourself, if the life is at risk, you'll risk a limb. So with any tourniquet usage, even if it's applied for 2 hours, there is a chance of permanent limb damage. There's always that chance while using a tourniquet. You're cutting off blood flow. So just keep that in mind. It's only to be used if a life is in danger. So, like I said, if applying direct pressure with that combat gauze is not doing it, then you're going to have to tourniquet it. The other purpose of the SWAT T tourniquet is a pressure dressing, like an Israeli bandage. You can use it and apply it just like you would a normal tourniquet, but you just don't do it as tight. And you can use it as a pressure dressing. Now it has instructions, like I said, on the tourniquet. You can look it up online. It has little diamonds on it, and when you stretch it out, because it's a very stretchy material, when you stretch it out and that diamond turns into a circle, then that's when it's tight enough to be used as a tourniquet to cut off blood flow. But if you're wrapping it just as a pressure dressing and the diamond stays a diamond shape, you're applying the right amount of pressure but not too much. You're not cutting off blood flow, but you're applying pressure. So that's a very good thing. And the third thing it can be used as is an elastic bandage for, sprains and strains and stuff like that. You can use it, if you have a dislocated shoulder or whatever, you could probably use it as a sling. So it is an excellent tourniquet option, and especially for the price. A standard cat tourniquet is probably $20, $25. These can be bought for around $10. They're very compact, as you can see here. Fits in this little package. They're very small. And from what I've heard, they're more durable. I looked up some specs online. They ran one of these 5,000 cycles, meaning they stretched it out at its maximum stretching capability of 250% strain, something like that. So they stretched it out 5,000 times and it never broke. They've tested these in negative 65 degrees, which, that's pretty dang cold. And then it still worked. They tested it at 180 degrees. That's all Fahrenheit, by the way. And it still worked. And I recommend keeping this kit in, dry, cool conditions. But they've even put these in pots of boiling water, taken them out, let them cool off, and they still stretched, and they did not break. So these can be used multiple times, unlike with normal tourniquets. Of course, they advise you to throw them away, but if you can boil them and sterilize them and still reuse them, there you go. Now, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's an option if you had to keep using the same tourniquet over and over again. This is the tourniquet to do it. But these have a 7-year minimum shelf life also, so that's pretty good. The tourniquet itself. So that is just an excellent tourniquet option for you guys if you want a small, compact tourniquet that can be used in multiple different ways, that is very durable. I do recommend the SWAT tourniquet. Now, I have no experience with using it, obviously, but a lot of the people I've talked to that have used them have loved them. They don't have any complaints with them. So, and you also get 1 pair of nitrile gloves. So a lot of people are allergic to latex. And by the way, the SWAT tourniquet is not made of latex, so that's good. A lot of people have a latex allergy. And the 1 pair of gloves you can see in there, it's wrapped up with an ITS Tactical little piece of paper. That's pretty cool. But the gloves are the same ones as the ones that come in the ETA kits. I'm not sure what brand they are, but they're rather thick rubber gloves. So that's good. And gloves are just imperative. They're so important with, you know, different things like hepatitis that people have, AIDS, different types of bloodborne pathogens that you don't want to contract. You know, you're trying to, if you're using this kit on somebody, you're trying to save their life. You know, you don't really want to get, you know, AIDS because as a gift for saving someone's life. So if you can help it, cover your hands in something. So you always want gloves when attending to a patient. So now I want to talk about the carry options for this. Now, yes, you can carry it in this vacuum sealed piece of plastic, this plastic wrap, but these EDC kits come with this nylon sleeve. Now, you can get these in black and coyote brown. These sleeves are neat. They're printed with the ITS logo. It says Med right there, so you can't confuse what this is used for, and a contents list. Now, these are very nice little nylon sleeves. They're completely water resistant, and what you do is you just fold this flap up like so. Slip the kit down in there. It comes in this little slip pouch. So when you order these EDC kits, they will come with this slip pouch already on it. Like I said, you can choose whether you want the black or the coyote brown, and that's how it'll be. So it's very lightweight. This weighs 6 ounces with this pouch and the kit. 6 ounces. That's not bad. And like I said, it's very compact, rather thin, and it's just a nice way to carry this. Now, the other way that you can carry this, rather, is with their EDC Slimline pouch. Oh, by the way, this little slip pouch is made by Zulu Nylon Gear. It's an American company, all American-made materials made here in the United States. So, that's a good thing. But they also offer the EDC Slimline pouch, also made by Zulu Nylon Gear, specifically for carrying the EDC trauma kit. Now, this can also be used for other things. You know, it doesn't have to be used just for the EDC kit. These come in, as you see here, this is the multicam version. They also offer it in coyote brown and black. Now, they all come with the 1.5-inch PVC med patch. Very cool, the ITS logo. Or you can put any kind of other little patch on there, or you don't have to put any patch at all. And they all come with the matching color short malice clips. Now, the malice clips go in through the MOLLE webbing on the back. You would put them through the MOLLE webbing on the piece of gear that you want to attach them to, and you put them down through that little slot. And I'm not going to do it, but it clicks into place. Then you have to take something like a knife or a flathead screwdriver and pry that little nub up, and then it releases it. Now, I love malice clips. They're very sturdy. They are fairly cheap, and they keep your gear really close to it really keeps the item close to the gear you're trying to mount it to. And they're extremely simple and easy to use, unlike anything I've used before. You know, the Maxpedition tack ties, the Blackhawk speed sticks. All those, you know, they're good mounting options, but they take a little bit of time to use to weave them in and out of MOLLE. These are super simple, and it's nice. But they come with light color, so if you get the multicam or you get the coyote brown, you're going to get the coyote brown ones. If you get the black version, it's going to come with the black ones. But these are very nice pouches. They have a belt loop in the back to accommodate a 2.5-inch belt, so that will fit officers' duty belts. So you can carry that both horizontal and vertically. Belt loop running through there. But like I said, you can also, of course, use the malice clips to attach them to your belt or to your gear if you want to use this for something else. Let me show you real quick. Has hook and loop closures, which is kind of neat on the multicam version. Even the hook and loop is multicam. Now these are water resistant. I posted a picture on Instagram not too long ago showing the water beating up. So these are water resistant. These pouches are made of 500 denier Cordura nylon. So that's good. But what holds the kit in place is this elastic material right here. See, it's elastic, like a lot of the pockets in your packs are. They're elastic. It fits right down there. This is how I carry mine. I carry it in this pouch just because it's a little bit more thick, a little bit more durable than this slip cover, and I just feel more secure with carrying it in this little pouch. And it looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie, but it's very easy to get into. Just put your hand. Now one thing that I do wish this had is just a piece of nylon, just a piece of nylon strip sewn right there that sticks out about that far, just to give you a little bit of something to grab, just to grab to pop this open, because it is Velcro brand hook and loop, so it's very strong, but it's kind of difficult. You know, if you don't have a lot of dexterity, say your hands are really cold or you're going into shock, you know, you're real nervous, you're going to be kind of shaky, and you got to kind of get your finger up under there and pull to get this open. So I think they could add a little strip of nylon right there. I may even sew one on myself just to make it a little bit easier to pop open when you need it, because when you need a trauma kit, you really need it. You need it right then and there. Like I said, this isn't a boo-boo kit. It's not something that can wait. When you need your trauma kit, it's a serious, life-threatening incident. But these are very nice little pouches. Very good option. And you can buy these pouches standalone, or you can buy these pouches with the EDC kits, and vice versa. So these pouches by themselves retail for $25 from the ITS Tactical website, from their shop, or $95 with the kit included. Now, some of you may think that's kind of steep, but for what you're getting, I think that's a good deal. You're getting a US-made pouch and a US-made trauma kit with some of the best items available on the market today for hemorrhage control. So, I think it's worth it. Real quick though, the dimensions on this pouch, if you want to carry anything else in it, the exterior dimensions are 5 3/4 inches tall by 3 3/4 inches wide by 1/2 inch deep. And the interior dimensions are, you know, the depth is the same, but the interior dimensions are 5 1/4 tall and 3 1/4 wide. As you know, you have to factor in a little bit for that. But I'll show you real quick. You can carry a big smartphone in it. This is, like I said, my HTC Thunderbolt. You can carry that in it. You can carry a Right in the Rain notebook. You can carry a regular CAT, combat application tourniquet. You can get creative. Like I said, if you just like these little pouches and you just want to carry random gear in it, of course you can attach it to your packs. But it was designed specifically for the EDC trauma kit. But it's right there, made in the US. Comes with a Zulu nylon gear tag. But like I said, for the items that you're getting, that's a pretty good deal, especially since these are all hand packed and vacuum sealed by hand. But I assume just by the ITS Tactical group, you know, just by their workers. These are all hand assembled. But like I said, you really owe it to yourself to get one of these kits. Now the kit themselves, if you just want to buy the kit, you don't want the EDC pouch, you just want this kit with the little slip pocket. These retail for $70 from the ITS Tactical website. But like I said, you can't have these shipped outside the United States. So that does kind of suck, but it's just one of those things. But you can make these yourself. You can even vacuum seal them. You can get vacuum sealers. But like I said, you really do owe it to yourself to get one of these kits. If you go to the range a lot, or even, like I said, maybe you don't have a gun at all. Maybe you don't carry guns, knives, anything like that. And you should just have one to carry on you regardless. Like I said, a workplace accident could happen, and you may need something like this. Now, a lot of people might think, well, why do you need to carry a trauma kit? You know, I don't want that extra bulk. You know, I don't want to carry a trauma kit. I'll seem like I'm just a paranoid prepper. Well, why do you carry a gun? You carry a gun for the reason that you hope you never have to use it, but you have it in case you have to. because your life may be in danger one day and you have to use it to save your life. This is no different. It's no different whatsoever. You carry this in the hopes you never have to use it, but you know that if something happens life-threatening, this could save a life. So I don't see the harm in carrying something that weighs 6 ounces, the size of a smartphone or a thick wallet. You know, I will take that extra little bit of weight and that extra bit of pocket space for the peace of mind that knowing I could possibly save my life or the life of a loved one. All right, here's the kit in the slip pocket that it comes with. Now it makes it a little bit more compact because it doesn't have any kind of rough seams and edges like the Slimline pouch has. So this one has a lot more flexibility, it can compact a little bit more, and it has kind of a more slippery finish to it. So it slips in the pocket a little bit easier than the Slimline pouch does. But one thing that I forgot to mention about this slip cover is that it's a little bit harder to get to the contents inside. Now the way I would do it, and the way that I usually take this out, is I kind of practice grabbing it like so, and just kind of pulling on that, and pushing up on the bottom of it at the same time. But you see, it still kind of gets caught a little bit, and it's really hard to do. And now if you have any kind of damage to one of your arms or one of your hands, this is going to be extremely difficult to get into one-handed. It's kind of difficult to get into having both hands in good conditions. So that's one complaint that I have with this slip cover, is that it's hard to get to the trauma kit if you were to need it. So that's one thing I like a lot. Well, that's one of the things I like more about carrying it in the Slimline pouch, is that it's much easier to get to the items with minimal dexterity. But these fit perfectly in cargo pants and like the cargo pockets and the big pockets like on our tactical pants. Let's face it, we don't always wear those every day. Well, some of you might, but I don't. So I'm just wearing a regular pair of jeans. These aren't skinny jeans or anything like that. And how I carry it is just in my right side back pocket. Slips in there perfectly concealed. Doesn't offer a lot of bulk. Obviously, you're going to want to take this out when you sit down because it's rather uncomfortable and it does not give at all, being vacuum sealed. All the contents are very hard and there's no give. So that's the only thing. When you go to sit down in your car, usually when I drive, I'll take this out and I'll put it in the little side pocket of the door, or I'll keep it in the console or the glove box. Or if I'm sitting down at a table, just take it out and place it on your lap or place it on the table. And here's what I was talking about how they fit. You can see there's a little bit of excess with the EDC pouch on either side, and it doesn't press inward. It doesn't conform to this shape perfectly like the slip cover. So this is a little bit thicker than the slip cover, but it makes it a lot easier to access with minimal dexterity, and it keeps it protected a little bit more, I think. But it offers a little bit more drag, like I was talking about, because it's a more rough finish and it has that patch. So you can take that off if you don't want, but it doesn't really bother me. But it also just slips into the pocket, no problem. You can't see it. You don't really feel it when you're walking around. But like I said, I love knowing that I have something on hand at all times that could possibly save a life, because you can never expect that kind of thing. You could get hurt just walking around the house and you're not going to have time to get to your kit. So you can see it's perfectly fine. It's also easier to grab. There's a little bit more to grab onto to pull it out of your pocket. But I actually might take some paracord and weave it in those loops to have a little pull handle to make it easier to pull out of the pocket, but I'm not sure. Alright guys, that's the ITS Tactical EDC Trauma Kit. This is the best EDC pocket carryable trauma kit that I have seen on the market to date. So definitely try to pick yourself up one, or like I said, make your own with like products similar to the ones in this kit, because like I said, it is something that I've come to realize is very important in an EDC kit, especially with running things like we have, knives and firearms. But I also see the importance of having something like this every day. So you definitely owe it to yourself also to go online. If you're still not sold on carrying a trauma kit on you on a daily basis, go online on the ITS website and look up testimonials about people using these kits and people that wish they had them. There are a lot of stories on there about people that had this kit that saved someone's life on a roadside accident, with accidental discharges at shooting ranges, people who used similar kits to this to save lives during mass shootings and bombings. So if you're not sold on it, just go and read some of the testimonials and articles about kits like this. So, great guys, hope you enjoyed this review. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, I really look forward to hearing from you. So as always, stay safe, stay sharp, and God bless. Sherman 614. Peace.